We are the Necrotizing Fasciitis Foundation, also referred to as the NFF. Our mission is to advocate and spread awareness about necrotizing fasciitis, a rapidly spreading bacterial infection that can destroy skin, fat, and tissue-covering muscles, not to mention lives. Often referred to as the flesh-eating disease or flesh-eating bacteria. To contribute, participate, or for more information, please visit our website at www.necfasc.org.
Hello and welcome everybody to The Steep. My name is Tim Hayden and I'll be your host. Our guest today on this episode is Sandra Holt. Sandra is a necrotizing fasciitis survivor who lives in Germany and she is a runner. Sandra is here to talk about her experience. Let's add Sandra to the show. Hi Sandra, how are you?
Hi Tim, I'm fine, thanks.
It's nice for you to be here. I'm so glad you are. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm quite an active person. Have almost always I've been. I like doing sports, being in the mountains, and I'm working in for like the federal state here in of Baden-Württemberg, and I try to convince people to go by bicycle instead of their car. In Germany, everything is quite close, so there's not really a need to go everywhere by car. I really like that job, and I do like my leisure time as well.
For sure. I would like to ride a bike around here in my community, but it's a little spread out than yours probably. Well, Sandra, would you like to go ahead and get started with how your story began, when it started?
I think my story started already when I was 17, but not with the infection, but with lipedema. So this is a fat growing disorder, you can say. Like your body grows fat tissue where it shouldn't. And I was diagnosed by, 17 or 18, and then you get compression garment, and you do have a healthy diet and you do sports, but it can't stop this disease. So for 15 years, I wore this compression garment, which was really hard to put on, kind of a really weird type. And then when I was 34, I guess, I decided to go for operation, which is at the moment is the only way to get rid of that fat tissue that you shouldn't have on your body. I'm talking about fat cells that are not the normal type of fat cells. They're growing in another way. And I wanted to get rid of those because in summer and in general, I wasn't able to stand for long, to sit for long. My legs were exploding. And then it became worse. So I went for the operation. And the operation, it's called liposuction, which is not the one that you do when you just want to be skinnier. It's a different type of liposuction that they do. They only take out the affected fat cells. So I went for that operation, which was an ambulant operation. As I was living in a small town and there was no doctor who could do it at that town, I went to another city, which was 70 kilometers away, to go for the liposuction, which was in 2019. So in April, they did the upper part of the leg, and in September, the lower part. And everything went fine in April, so I went for the other operation in September. And already during the operation, I had some pain, which you shouldn't have because you have like local anesthesia. So you shouldn't feel what's going on in that part of your body. But I did. And I told the doctor, and he was also kind of, it's not normal. You shouldn't feel it. and I got some painkillers, some pills, and then I stayed there after the operation for about, I don't know, 1 hour maybe. I took another painkiller, then went back home those 70 kilometers. And I tried to go to bed, but I wasn't able to sleep because of all the pain. I mean, it's normal to have some pain after operation, but this was definitely out of order. So in the evening, I called the doctor again. He told me to take one of the really strong painkillers, which I did, but I wasn't able to sleep at all the whole night. The next morning, I had some fever. My leg, I don't know if it was already hot by then, but I just had that pain, which was getting worse and worse and worse. So we called the doctor again, and he told me to go to a hospital at
Sandra,
my hometown.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to warn everyone, these next photos are probably going to be graphic. I just want them to be aware of it. I'm going to try to go along with you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Of course. Well, I went to that to the nearest hospital, and I just asked them, please take me in. I have so much pain, and they were already like, well, we don't know. We don't have plastic surgery department here, but we asked if they want to see you in the I don't know. I think you call it ER in English.
Yes.
So I went
Yes.
there, and they had a look at my leg. I took off the compression garment, which you have to wear after liposuction, and you could see some small blisters. I don't have pictures of that state, but they were violet and blackish, really small ones, but everywhere on the leg. And like I had the comparison because I had the same operation on the left leg. So on the left one, it was like violet and blue and yellow, like normal bruises, which is normal for that type of operation. But on the right one was those really small blisters, and it was getting hot. It was swollen, and that's all not normal after liposuction. So they kept me there. They did tell me they think it's I don't know if you call it erysipelas, something like that, like another infection. They thought I have another type of infection, right. And they kept me there. They gave me some antibiotics, oral ones, and they I don't think they did anything else than ultrasound. And he, like the doctor, it was really funny because he told me, well, like here you can see the fascia. I was like, okay, because I didn't know by then what I had, of course. Right. And I thought everything is fine. The next day, like 2 days after the liposuction, I was dizzy. I was in a real weird state, and I had a blister underneath the skin, which they opened, and nothing else happened that day. And on Sunday, I had a really, really big bullae at my lower leg. And you can see it in the picture. It was enormous. And they had marked the other day where it was red. And you could see on Sunday that it had grown from Saturday to Sunday. And I was really worried because at that hospital, they didn't tell me anything. They just didn't have any diagnosis. So I called, I sent a message to the doctor who did the liposuction, and I told him, well, they cannot help me here, please, can you? And he told me to send him pictures. This is why I have pictures of that state, by the way. And he saw the pictures. He talked to one of the doctors at the hospital I was at, and he didn't come back to me, but he right away went to his car, drove 70 kilometers to see me. And on his drive, he organized a transport to another hospital. So when he arrived at the hospital where I was, he wanted to see me. And on opening the door, he was arguing with the doctor at the hospital I was at because he told him what I had. And the doctor was just, no, it's cannot be. And they were really arguing very loud. And then they went, luckily, they went out of my room. And after a couple of minutes, they came back and told me that I will be sent to another hospital to go for operation directly. So this is what happened. They told me I get a transport, like a normal transport. And because my blood, well, they took some blood, and then I don't know if you call it in English also the CPR level. It's like a level that tells you how severe the infection in your body is. So that level was
Right.
really high.
Yes.
And
White
yeah,
blood cell
because
count.
yeah, and because of that, they, instead of going with the normal transport, we already went with the siren on, with the blue lights, and we went really fast to the other hospital, which was another, I think, 60 kilometers away. So I was brought directly to the operation room, and I didn't know what I had by then. And I was just laying there and like, okay, do you have to amputate my leg now? And the doctor was like, no, keep calm. We just have to take away fat tissue and skin, and you will be able to do all your sports again. You will keep all your muscles. I didn't know what that meant by then. I mean, I didn't know anything about fat tissue and skin, to be honest. And I thought, well, it doesn't sound too bad. Just go for it. Please save my life. And yeah, this is what they did. They took away all the infected toxic tissue. And it was about 9% of the body surface, which I was told later. And they did quite a good job. I was really lucky because they only had to do one operation to take away all of the tissue. And after 5 days, I got my wound vac, which I had to keep for, I think, another 5 days. And then they already did the skin graft. So they took really thin layer of my left thigh and put it on my right leg. And well, it didn't work on the whole part. So there were like 2 sides where they had to redo it. And that was not so nice because they had to take away part of my tendon in the hollow of my knee and do it again. But luckily, when they did it again, it worked well. So yeah, all in all, I was 7 weeks at that hospital.
Andrea is asking when you were diagnosed.
Well, it was like I had the liposuction on Thursday, and the diagnosis was on Sunday. Yeah, so quite fast. But on the other side, if it hadn't been on Sunday, I don't want to know what would have happened, to be honest, because it was going on so fast.
So did your skin grafts take the first time?
Most of it, like I would say about 95%, and there were like 2 small parts, one on my shin and one at the hollow of my knee where it didn't take. But I was lucky that like seeing that big wound, it's just a small part where it didn't grow.
And so after you got finished there at the hospital, I assume they sent you to a rehab center.
Yeah, they treated me like a burn victim. I think it's because of the way to treat the skin, because like also at burn victims, they have to do all the skin treatment and scar treatment. So I was brought to a rehab center. There were only 2 rehab centers in Germany for burn victims. And I went, well, to the one with the better ranking on internet, which was really, really nice because they have a great treatment there. I had scar massage every day, which was the worst thing I have experienced since the infection, to be honest, because it was really, really painful. And I think was great to have those 4 weeks for just me learning to live with my body, learning about all that scar stuff, because I didn't know anything about that before. I didn't know how to walk properly. And in the hospital, I was, in the beginning, I was just laying in bed. Then after, I don't know, a couple of weeks, I think it was about after 2 weeks, I was able to sit in bed without fainting. And then they also, they always wanted me to stand up, but I fainted all the time. So I asked for a wheelchair, which was better for me. So I was able to move around. And then finally, I think it was about 10 days before I was dismissed from the hospital, I got my crutches and I walked to the rehab center with crutches. And after already 1 week, I was without them, which was really, really nice. And then I had to like learn to bend my knee again, to bend my ankle, because it was also stiff from just not using it all the time at the hospital. And
were you passing out from the pain?
No, I think it was because my blood, I think the blood pressure was too low. I don't know.
So I guess they did figure that part out to keep you from doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And what the thing that was really nice about that rehab center was that there were so many professionals. I didn't know about lymphedema before. At the hospital, I think it was in the last days I was there, they looked at my lower back and lower part of my leg and just told me, well, the lymphedema isn't too bad. And I was like, what? What are you telling me? What is lymphedema? And then at the rehab center, I just learned, oh, I do have a lymphedema now, because they had to remove from my leg, they had to go around the whole circle. So there were no, well, I don't know what you call it in English, where the lymphatic system is working. It's in the part they had to remove. So of course, the lymphatic liquid wasn't able to go up again.
Right, they had to debris it.
Yeah. And at the rehab center, I learned about that, and I got the special lymphatic massage, also like, I think 3 times a week or something. I got some really nice bath things, and I really enjoyed that. I was lucky that my friends visited me, because it wasn't a really rural area. Yeah, and then, well, we're already right now at my home. You can see my workout station, because at the rehab center, I started to do, to build my muscles again. And I had something that, I don't know what you call it, but it's like a plate, and then you can put on the electrician, and then you, it moves like this all the time. Very fast. And then I bought that to do it at home as well, which was really nice, to keep all the tissue moving. And I did stretch a lot. I did stretch at the rehab center, but I also stretched at home. I started with yoga, which is really good. If you want to stretch, go in those deeper stretches. And of course, a lot of scar massage as well. Well, what else? I don't know. It's so much. Yeah. Here you can see the massage pistol, which my physiotherapist back home used, and at his treatment. So I tried to do it as well on my own at home. And I also had I did get a blister, a really big blister, which you can see at the lower part right here. I did use some infrared light to like help the wound healing. I don't know if it really helped, but it felt good to just do it. Then I had another physiotherapist who told me to use a sponge to, I don't know, activate the nerves. But to be honest, I don't think that it really helps too much because the nerve damage is just too big. Yeah, here you can see the infrared light. On the right side, I have the blister. And it took me about 4 or 5 months to close that blister because the skin was just not able to heal.
Did your massager help your scar? The treatment that you were using?
Definitely a lot. Definitely a lot. I must say that I don't have any problems at all with the when you have a scar, it can build like if you have the scar, it can come up, and it didn't do at all. I still have a lot of tension at some parts, so I'm still working on that. But all in all, I think it's very well. It healed very well. I must say that I wore my compression garment all the time. Like from the first day on, I got it. I was told to wear it during day and night, and only take it off for showering. And then after 2 years it was, or after 1.5, I don't remember very well, but I was allowed to take it off at night. And I really think that helped as well very, very much to keep the whole scar tissue healing in a good way. And I must say that compression garment isn't compression garment. So there are so many types of compression garment. I have a special one for burn victims, scar compression garment, which is really nice because it's comfortable. And they did sew in some really soft tissue because at my tendons in the hollow of my knee, I'm super sensitive. And the normal tissue makes it really dry and kept it opening again. So I asked them, can we do anything about that? And then the guy at the, I don't know what you call it. We have a special store where you can get all of those things like compression garment, or if you crack your ankle, you go there. And there, I was really lucky to find someone who really knows about scar treatment. And he told me, well, we can sew in some softer tissue at the hollow of your knee, no problem. Then after the first pair I got there, I went back and he was like, well, how was it? Were you troubled with anything? And I was troubled because it always came down. So doing sports, you're sweating, and it just like kind of fell off my leg. And then he was like, well, no problem. We can put in some extra silicone so it will stay where it should. Usually we do it only for craftsmen who have to like knee a lot, be on their knees a lot. And I got the same as the craftsman, and I'm really, really happy about that, because if you do have to wear something like that each day, it must be comfortable. You must feel well with it, because if not, you're not doing it.
So are you suffering through any lingering effects from it now? Does it limit your mobility? Does it limit what you can and cannot do at this point?
I must admit I'm not suffering. I think I'm strong-minded. When the doctors told me you can go back and do anything you like, and when they told me, no, you don't have to wear anything special on your shin, for example, to protect it, I was like, okay, if the doctors tell me, I am able to do anything I want to do. And I well, it took some time for the skin to be able to not open by just hitting something. Well, it still opens, but now it is healing, which it wasn't in the beginning. And I just tried. I knew that my body wasn't as strong as before. I had to build it up again, but I was always listening very well to my body when it told me, well, you cannot move your, which is really funny because most problems were at my ankle, and I didn't have the infection at my ankle, but the fascia was so tight that I wasn't able to move it. So this took me, I think, about more than 2 years to figure out what the real problem of not being able to have the full range of motion was. And still now I am affected. Of course, I do have, I don't move properly. You cannot see it, but I know that I don't move the way before because I'm using my left leg too much. And now I have a lot of tension on my left leg, which is kind of, well, funny, annoying. And, but all in all, it's not, I think it's always a manner of how you cope with it. So I mean, I can go to the mountains again, but I know that I have to now have a special eye on my left leg to give a lot of massage, to stretch it and all that stuff, and always think about when I'm standing, I always catch myself, oh, you're standing only on the left leg again. So I'm always thinking about that.
So it's more or less being more conscious about your body and how it's
definitely And well, as I say, I'm doing the same things I did before, but I think I have I do it with another mind right now. I think I am more conscious about what I'm doing at the moment, and yeah, I'm also more attentive when I'm a trail runner, so I do run in the mountains, and if it's slippery on the rocks, of course I'm not like before, because I think about, okay, what will happen if I fall? I always have my emergency kit with me, so that I know I can put on disinfection spray and put in bandage if it's necessary. Yeah.
Well, I can see by the photos that I've been sharing that you doesn't appear to let it slow you down much. You've been in some races, some competitions, a lot of mountain climbing and skiing. It looks like a lot of fun. How did this affect you emotionally or psychologically?
Well, I must say that I really had a hard time at the hospital. So in the beginning, I wasn't able to look at my leg, which was hard for me because physically I was able to go to the toilet again on my own, but I wasn't able to see my leg. So I put a handkerchief on my leg, a towel, of course. I put a towel on my leg, and then I had the legs fully stretched. Tried to go like that with the towel on my leg on the toilet. It was just stupid. I had the wound bug by then, and then I asked for the psychologist at the hospital, but well, I don't know. She didn't have time. She didn't come. And then they asked me if I want to see the pastor. I'm not baptized, which was kind of weird for me. But then I said, well, yes, I just need to talk to someone. And then was really, really good talk. And he helped me so much because he organized a nurse from ICU. And she explained me everything, and we looked at my leg together. So this was the first big step for me. And that was, I think, really the most emotional thing happening there. And there were a lot of things that also, well, I think you do have some kind of little trauma if you have been to ICU. There were happening strange things. Like one day, one of the nurses at night was talking about me in a bad manner. Like, she's always ringing the bell just to have her leg moved 5 centimeters or something like that. And I felt so bad, and I didn't want to ring the bell again. So it left traces, of course, in my mind. But I think the worst part was really accepting the way how my leg looks now, because it is skinnier, of course. You do see it, you do see the big scar, and I don't want to hide it because it's part of me, but it's still a challenge for me to look at the mirror and to accept it as my leg. So I'm still working on that.
Well, you keep in mind when you look at that leg helped save your life. So is it affecting you? Do you feel that you have any PTSD after, like now, or anything since?
Not really. Not really. I mean, there are some issues I'm working on, but it's not that I'm dreaming about that ICU nurse or anything. That's not happening, and I'm really, really glad that's not the case. Yeah.
So you had a really good support system too when you got home?
Well, I already did at hospital. I was really lucky that my former boyfriend was with me by then, because he really supported me a lot, and he saw me, I don't know, I think like 3 times a week at least. I have to mention that we had a long distance relationship, and I wasn't at a hospital at the town where I'm living. So it was another 50 kilometers without car. So by public transport, it was about 1.5 hours. So you can just imagine what it meant for him as well. And also my parents visited me several times. They live about 250 kilometers away, which it means something. And there were also friends coming from, I don't know, about 80 kilometers away just to see me at the hospital, which was so, so, so nice of them and so helpful. Because, yeah, this was the one thing at the hospital, but also figuring out for myself what helps me, supported my mind. So I figured out that I need to move. So I asked for the wheelchair. So with the wheelchair, I was able to go out again. I wasn't able to move around, but I was able to just be out there at the yawn, see some flowers, see the blue sky. That helped me so much. And yeah, then I think back home was really good that my colleagues were very supportive, because in the beginning, of course, I had to cry several times, and it happened at work as well. And they were just hugging me and just accepting that I'm not the strong person I was before, that I'm like showing them, I do have a weak side now, which they didn't expect me to have. And I think it was really, really good that they showed me that it doesn't matter. I'm still loved by them, or wanted, or I don't know what you call it. And of course, the same happened with my closer friends.
I can say, from my point of view, you are one bad warrior because of everything you went through and survived, and here to talk about it, and here to help others by talking about it.
Thank you.
Sandra, I appreciate you being here and telling us your story and sharing with us.
I'm really, really glad that you invited me to be here, because I think you cannot talk often enough about that. And I think it's really important to talk with others about what happens with you and about your feelings, about your worries, and to seek for answers to the questions you have. And I must say that the book, I really have to mention that book, to be honest. Just wait a second. I think I have it here. Yeah. So I know it's advertisement. I hope it's okay.
Yes,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
your book. So
no, it's not my book.
It's not your book, but
it's
supported by
Romeo. She's a good author.
Anyway, it's the only book you can find online, at least the only one you can find when you're at hospital looking for it on the internet. And I was so lucky to have a read about all the other stories that are in this book. And also it helped me a lot to understand that disease, that infection. And when reading this book, I was also figuring out, well, there is a group on Facebook. Hey, there are people who suffered just the same like you. They can answer your questions. This was for me the best support, to be honest, because nobody, not your boyfriend, not your family, do feel or know what you have overcome.
Exactly. I agree 100%. But Jacqueline is one of the authors of that book. She's a phenomenal person. She did a great job with that book. I share it a lot with people because it's full of information. Well, Sandra, I appreciate you being here and taking the time to talk with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And Kate, if you want to hang up backstage, I'll chat with you here in a few.
Okay.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Sandra Holt for being here today. Thank you for tuning into the show. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hope to see you next time for another episode. Please remember to be kind and to smile. Have a great day.